Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alan with another broadcast of the Morlog Morning Digest for you. As always, I ask that you guys please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, but most importantly, please share the content. You'll find a link in the description below for my BitChute in case YouTube decides they don't want me around anymore, as well as a cryptocurrency link for Bitcoin, as well as a PayPal link. If you guys are so inclined to make donations, I would appreciate it. Now today I want to talk about events that have been transpiring inside of the United States lately. And I'm sure that most of you guys are aware of the protests that have been taking place across the nation lately. And while it is heartening to see Americans come together, I want to stress that by protesting, you are playing directly into the hand of the powers that ought not be. And this has all been done by design. There is absolutely no way around it once you start to put the pieces together. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying that I look down on anybody that went and partook in those protests, because your heart is in the right place. But you've been so brainwashed and conditioned to not think for yourself that you don't understand what you are accomplishing for the enemy, and I mean enemy, by going out and protesting. This is analogous to slaves on a plantation going up to the porch of their slave master and begging their slave master to allow them to go back to work and be enslaved. That is exactly what is happening. You have to understand this. We were born into a system that literally controls every aspect of our lives from the moment that we wake up till the moment that we go to bed. And right on the precipice of that system being destroyed, us as Americans are too weak or too brainwashed or too conditioned to the luxury that we have to understand what is happening. We are literally begging for the system that enslaved us for the past 200 years, right? For the last 200 years, we're begging for that system to come back right now, and that is exactly what they want you to do. What did these protests accomplish except more division? And division is exactly what they want. Because I have heard over and over and over again from people that went to these protests that it has made them a target from people inside of their family as well as their community. And in fact, by protesting, you accomplish the complete opposite of what you set out to do. You isolated yourself more from the people that actually matter to you, right? And you literally went there and begged to have the chains put back on you. And it's not your fault that you didn't see this. Us as Americans have been conditioned that protesting for our rights is a good thing. But we have been so devoid of actual survival skills that we don't realize there's no reason to protest. Why do we not, as Americans, just do? Instead of going out and begging for your rights to be given back to you, why are you not grabbing your rights by the balls and claiming them for yourself? And there's been a few people that have tried to do this, but nobody's standing beside them. My heart goes out to this woman in Dallas, Texas, who opened up her salon and then was forcibly kidnapped and brought before a judge, right? And this judge literally asked this woman to apologize for being selfish, for enacting her God-given rights. And she didn't bend over. She told the judge, if you want me to apologize for feeding my family, then lock me up, because it's not going to happen. And the problem with this is she decided to take the right action, but because there's nobody willing to stand beside her and put their neck out on the line for their rights, she paid the price for demonstrating what all of us should be doing. And the reason that she was targeted is because she was the only one that opened up her business. What would the authorities have done if every business owner in that town got together like they should be, because they all have the same common interest, which is survival? If they all got together and opened up all of their stores at the same time, what the hell could the authorities do? And the answer to that question is absolutely nothing. And I want you to realize, the more and more and more you try to work inside of this system in order to gain your rights back, the more and more they are going to use this system that you are begging to be part of to destroy you and your family, and you don't even realize it. Okay? The thing is, man, you may, stand up for your right and reopen your business. There was a guy who reopened his bar, right? And you know what happened? He reopened his bar, and they had no choice but to let him keep that bar open. You know why? Because proclamation is not law. But you know what they did? They hamstrung him, because this system has its tentacles so deep into the society of America that these laws can literally affect you without you even knowing that they can. He opened his business. It's a bar. They serve liquor. The town and the county realize there's nothing they can do to keep this bar shut because the proclamations that they made aren't law. So you know what they did? They stole this man's livelihood from him. They said, you may have rights, but we have power. Now, what they did is they revoked his liquor license. How the hell are you going to run an establishment that serves liquor if you don't have a liquor license? But what would happen if people kept showing up? They brought their own booze. What would happen if people actually stood up and paid the guy just to walk in the door? What would happen if people actually started working together against this system instead of working together to be part of it? This system would die. What you have to realize is this civilization is at a precipice right now, and there's two directions we can go. We can actually find our footing again as human beings and build a society that is based on God-given rights, or we can serve on our knees and beg our slave masters to let that system come back. And it's not going to come back the way it was. Don't think for a minute that you're ever going back to normal. I've told you this 100 times. There is no more normal. The life that you led prior to January 1st, 2020 is never coming back. It's not. I don't care what they tell you if you believe that you are a fool. An absolute fool. And I'm sorry I'm getting so heated for this, but when I can see everything ready to crumble around me, and I know what the solution is, and the rest of the world is too goddamn blind and deaf to listen to me, it drives me fucking nuts. But you know what? It's the way this system was built. The Bible told you all of this was going to happen. They told you everything that is going on right now was written in a book that few men understand, but many have read. What you have to realize here is you have nobody to blame but yourself when you find yourself serving on your knees in the future, because you're going to have the choice. And the choice may mean that you give up this human body, but you retain your soul. The other choice is you retain this human body and you literally sell your soul to the devil. Protesting is not the answer. They did not give you your rights. You allowed them to take control of them by relinquishing your power and relinquishing your free will. If everybody woke up tomorrow and said, we're going back to the way things were, things would go back to the way things were. But there are too many of us that are unwilling to sacrifice. You have to understand, we live in a country where there is too much of everything, and it has necessitated a society that depends on the transfer of goods that mean absolutely nothing to keep a system alive that is only in place to keep you enslaved and in chains, and you welcome it. I'll tell you what, we're all going to get what we deserve one way or another. It's what it boils down to, people. Ask yourself this. Are you willing to give up everything that you love just to take another breath? Because that is the situation we are in. And I'm telling you right now, this air that I'm breathing has been poisoned. This food that I'm eating has been poisoned. Everything around me has been tainted and moved as far away from the natural order as it possibly can be. If I have even a minuscule chance of finding my way back to what life should be, I'm willing to die trying to get there. And if you're not, then you have no voice in this fight. You have no place telling somebody like me that I am wrong. Because if you don't have the conviction enough to stand behind your ideals with your life, then you're not truly free. Thank you and God bless.